Autoline Daily is brought to you by Dow Automotive Systems. Learn how we can help you arrive at cost-effective and innovative solutions to your toughest industry challenges at dowautomotive.com.
Here are today's top headlines. GM decides to keep Opel after all. Car sales slide in the American market, and a first look at the new Crosstour from Honda. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Wednesday, November 4th, 2009, and now the news. In a stunning reversal, the board of directors at General Motors decided not to sell Opel. The company cited an improving business climate in Europe and its own financial recovery as the reasons why it decided to keep Opel. Here's my read on what happened. GM never really wanted to sell Opel, but did not have the money to restructure it, so it decided to sell part of it. But once it saw how the governments of Germany, Belgium, Spain, and England were ready to provide bailout money, once it saw the concessions the unions were ready to make, and once it realized it had the money to pull this off, it decided not to sell. The thinking probably went, why should we let Frank Stronach at Magna and Oleg Deripaska at Gaz get a piece of this deal? We don't need them. Let's keep it. At least that's what I think happened. Sales of new cars in the U.S. market in October fell 3% compared to a year ago, but they were up a fraction compared to the previous month. The annualized sales rate for the month was 10.4 million units. Wards reports that the market share changes amongst the biggest automakers show that GM gained a point of market share, Ford gained 0.6 of a point, Chrysler lost a whopping 3 points, Toyota was unchanged, Honda lost a fraction, Nissan gained nearly half a point, and Hyundai gained 1.2 points of market share. Yesterday, Ford announced that Joe Heinrichs, its Vice President of Global Manufacturing and Labor Affairs, will be promoted to Group VP, as well as President of its Asia Pacific and Africa operations. John Fleming, the Group VP and CEO of Ford of Europe, will add Mr. Heinrichs' role to his current position. More teams dropping out of Formula One. Now, according to Reuters, Toyota will leave the series. The team spent an estimated $300 million a year since joining F1 in 2002, and yet it never won a race. Quick quiz here. What's the most popular kind of battery used in hybrids? If you guessed nickel metal hydride, you're wrong. According to Wards, it's actually lead acid. Sales of vehicles equipped with stop-start systems are booming in Europe, and they use special versions of lead-acid batteries. Of course, run-of-the-mill wet cell batteries will not hold up to the stress of constantly restarting the engine and running accessories when it's shut off. Micro-hybrids use 14-volt systems with special programming to stand up to the challenges. If too much just isn't enough, we might have the perfect pickup for you. A company called Dunkel Industries showed off a humongous truck at the SEMA show in Vegas. According to PickupTrucks.com, the behemoth is 32 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, and nearly 12 feet tall. Its bed can hold a full-size car, and there's a spot to park dirt bikes on top. Inside, there's enough room to sequester a jury. Man, I'd hate to see the fuel bill for that thing. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the new Crosstour coming from Honda. Extending the model line of a vehicle is not only a good way to keep it fresh, but also boost sales. Honda tried that with the Accord, introducing a hybrid version, but that didn't go so well. So now it's giving it another try, this time with a CUV version called the Accord Crosstour. From a styling standpoint, the only thing the sedan and Crosstour have in common is the Accord name. Here's the senior product planner for the Crosstour, Lee Da Silva, comparing the two.
There are some similarities between the sedan and the Crosstour, but as you can see, none of the exterior panels are shared between the two models. It's primarily on the interior. The Accord Crosstour does have similar suspension items as the sedan, but there are also some additional items that have been applied, things like the rebound spring in the front dampers, and some different tuning to the powertrain, to the motor, that make it unique.
In addition, it's longer than the sedan, has more cargo room, and also has a different grille. The Crosstour offers an optional system called real-time four-wheel drive that sends power to the rear wheels only when traction is insufficient for the front. Like the sedan, the Crosstour is equipped with the same 3.5-liter V6 and 5-speed automatic. To help improve fuel economy, the engine features cylinder deactivation, which means it can run on 3, 4, or 6 cylinders. The base model gets 18 miles per gallon city, 27 highway. The four-wheel drive version sees the city fuel economy drop to 17 miles per gallon, and it gets 25 on the highway. The Accord Crosstour will be built at Honda's East Liberty plant in Ohio with foreign and domestic parts. The company's aiming for sales of 40,000 units a year. Pricing starts at just over $30,000 for the two-wheel drive version, and a Crosstour with four-wheel drive and navigation starts at nearly $37,000. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.